If someone were to ask me, what is your favorite bun? I would say brioche. But not because it's the only bun I know the name of, but because it tastes unlike any other bun I've ever had. It's also very soft inside, like a pillow. Anytime I'm having a sandwich or a hamburger and it's on that brioche bun, always catches my attention, even if it's not trying to. Like, it must be a pretty cool feeling to be eating a sandwich on the bun that you made. Not only did I make the contents of that sandwich, I made the whole thing. I wouldn't know, but I'd like to. That's why I want to continue this journey into the bread world, this time with this French bun. And I want to take this bun and carry it over into another episode, making a sandwich, a fried chicken sandwich, or a hamburger, or both. But first, this bun, brioche. So you're gonna have to prep all your ingredients right off the bat, because once we get going, we're not slowing down. For the ingredients, let me show you. Flour, beaten eggs, sugar, some salt, room temperature butter, packet of yeast, sesame seeds, lukewarm milk. Take your thermometer. We want our milk to be no more than 115 degrees Fahrenheit, no colder than 85 degrees Fahrenheit. Mine was much colder, so I'm warming it up. Not too much. So if I put this little thingy in this thingy, add your active dry yeast. Let's have this hang out for 10 minutes. It needs to proof. If you were watching last week, I mentioned I have these dough hook attachments for my electric mixer, which is perfect because I don't have a stand mixer. This does the trick. Let's add our proofed yeast and milk, a little bit of flour, and our sugar. And we're just combining all this until it's a nice smooth batter. Cover with plastic wrap and let this hang out for half an hour. Okie dokie, after half an hour, take the plastic wrap off. Ooh, mixture is smooth. Firstly, we're gonna start with this flour. What I'm gonna do is add this incrementally, spoonful at a time, into this batter while this bad boy is running on medium speed. I keep forgetting that there is a fan, so every time I add my flour, I need to go from the rear end. Let me rephrase. Every time I add my flour, I need to add it from behind the fan. This is getting kind of dry, so I'm gonna add some eggs in. And continue with the flour. Once you have all that flour incorporated, add your salt. Cut my butter up into pieces like this. I'm gonna add these one at a time into this dough until this thing starts looking pretty smooth and shiny. Butter. Ah. And we're gonna mix this for another 5 minutes. I highly recommend, would use again. Let's add our dough into the oiled bowl. Cover again with plastic wrap. We're gonna let this sit for an hour and a half to 2 hours. Want it to double in size. Smush this down. Whoa. And we're gonna just fold it over a couple times. We want it to double in size yet again. How quickly your day can fly by waiting for the dough to rise. That's beautiful. Let's transfer the dough. Whoa. Texture. Whoa, poking your hand with this and then touching a powdery substance like this. Put your dough onto the lightly floured work surface. Cut it up. What you're gonna need for this next part is a scale. It's gonna take a little trial and error to get to the perfect size for me. I'm gonna aim for 90 grams per ball. Now using your palm, you're gonna roll this into a nice round ball. Hopefully something like that. Flatten these balls with my palm to create a nice round disc and place them onto a baking tray with parchment paper. You need to cover these with kitchen towel for another 20 minutes. And another 20 minutes later. Cool. I made some egg wash. I'm gonna brush it on top of each bun. And for the last piece, sesame seeds. So I got my oven preheated to 200 degrees Celsius. I'm gonna bake this for 7 minutes. And then I'm going to lower the oven temperature to 176 degrees Celsius. And I'm gonna bake this for another 10 minutes. If this doesn't turn out, I got extras. This is my worst case scenario. If you take a look at my bun, you can see there's substantial cracking at the top. They all have it. Like, they look good, except for that crack. So what I'm gonna do is place a baking tray with some ice cubes in it into the bottom of the oven. That's gonna help add a little moisture into that oven with the buns, and hopefully they don't crack. I was called out last episode for not putting butter on my bun. I have rectified the problem with a copious amount of butter. It's the best bun I've ever had. I had a brioche bun the other day at a restaurant. I was like, oh damn, that's a good bun. And now I'm having these and I'm thinking, this is just as good. It's just as good. I would totally recommend this recipe. These are fantastic. It's quite easy to make too. If you watched me last week with the hot cross buns, that was a good introduction into this sort of dough. There is one really important factor that I use today that I would recommend to all you guys to use if you're gonna make your own brioche buns, and that was to use the dough hook on an egg mixer or your stand mixer. It would have been just too sticky and too difficult to be mixing it by hand. Also, I forgot to mention that, yes, the ice cube in the oven trick, that definitely works. If you tune in later this week, you will see me using these buns in an actual recipe. A fried chicken sandwich with this bun. I'm also gonna make hamburgers too, with these buns. Tune in. Thank you so much for watching this episode. Super appreciate it. If you liked it, you can subscribe, you can comment, you can like the video. Any of those three things will do. Or you can head over to Instagram and say hello there. I hang out there occasionally as well. Okay, see you soon. Bye.